I'm on. What about you, Crystal?
Ready to go whenever you are.
Okay, I'm ready. Okay, we'll call this council regular session to order. It's Wednesday, August 7th. The time is 7 p.m. Go ahead and open it up for visitor comment. If you'd like to come up and make a comment, please keep your name, state your name for the record and keep it 3 minutes or less. Come on up.
After
After the Pledge of Allegiance.
Thank you.
I apologize. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, so like I was stating, if you'd like to come up and make visitor comments, please keep it 3 minutes or less and state your name for the record.
Thank you, Mayor Scholl. My name is Steve Toskey, citizen St. Helens. Didn't have a long time to go over the Treadway contract. Came out very late. Not sure if you guys have had a chance to really take a look at this thing. I understand it's very late in the game and there's going to be a lot of pressure to try to finish this up today. A couple of concerns, but I was really haven't been able to look at it very, in a lot of detail. The event expenses are not really defined, and how the bank account is going to be used is not defined very well, other than the contractor will have access to it as well as the city. I note that the contractor has to get approval for all expenses for the city's benefit. 20 to 50,000, and then there's another level 50,000 and more. So contractor has unfettered expense discretion of up to $19,999. And also, arguably, if the contractor says, well, that's for our benefit, they wouldn't need approval to make any expenditures, because the only thing they need to get to clear expenditures for the city's benefit. And then in section 5, it says that the contractor shall have access to the assets in its own discretion. So that kind of leaves an opening for the contractor to say, well, we want to spend this, this, and this for our benefit to run the event. Just something that maybe should be ironed out in some additional discussions. Because part of this whole thing was to try to control, some of the expenditures. Those are a couple of things that jumped off the page to me. Not sure if you guys, I know it's late in the game, you guys probably want to push this along, but maybe something like this, want a little more comfort level with reviewing it, taking a look at it. Second thing is, I just wanted to add on to some of the comments made by Sheriff Pixley and Chief Greenway about the jail. When I was looking into this HB 3115 thing and meeting with the district attorney, one of the things that we have going for us in Columbia County as far as law enforcement is concerned is the ability to actually put people into jail. We have room in our jail, and that allows us to enforce our regulations to a depth that places like Multnomah County cannot enforce. Multnomah County, you've got to have a very serious thing going on before they're going to even bring somebody there, because there is no room at the jail. So preservation of our jail and preservation of our ability to enforce our laws by putting people in there is a huge part of keeping us safe. That's what I'm going to add based upon what my conversations with the district attorney and how things are done around here. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other visitor comments?
Brady Freeheim. So I guess I'll start off with the jail. Again, the jail is in fact overcost. We do not make money on the federal prisoners. Despite what he says, we have never made money on federal prisoners. It's pretty simple equation. The jail was built to be a business. That's what it was sold to us as. In fact, it was going to be a business that not only paid for the jail, but we were going to be able to pave roads. We were gonna be able to do all sorts of stuff. That was the promise when it was built. And everybody bought into it. It's like, oh yeah, and it did work for a number of years, admittedly, longer than I thought it would. But now here we are, and it no longer makes money, and it no longer makes money because we actually need more federal prisoners. We have to have about 150 federal prisoners for the jail to quote, break even. We don't. They never anticipated that. They never thought that they would build the jail in Sheridan. When that happened, they did not increase the costs. So the mismanagement of the jail is that they need to go out and they need to say, if you have 50 prisoners, this is your cost. If you have 100 prisoners, this is your cost. If you have 150, this is your cost, so that we make money. Because while he'll say that, oh, we increased our rate, what he doesn't say is we still lose money on them. And as anybody would know, how they're losing money? Because they are living off the taxpayer teeth. To the tone of $5 million a year, we are supporting that. That's how much we're losing off the federal prisoners. Only a third of the people in the jail are our prisoners. The rest are federal marshals. So 2/3 of the cost of the jail is their costs. And we are not making money, and it doesn't make economic sense unless it's managed differently, or we change the rates and we charge the federal government what it costs to house our prisoners, which we do not do. And next on the city budget, we have $120,000 in the budget for tourism. I don't know how you're going to pay Treadway $193,000, which is $73,000 over your budget. I think you signing this contract, you are breaking the law. You don't get to just make up your own budget. You have to at least do a supplemental budget. You have to do a hearing, and that's just to cover the management fee. This does not cover the additional costs. The additional costs to put on this event are between $600,000 and $800,000. Historically, where are you coming up with that money? That's almost $1 million that now is coming from the city. Where is that coming out of the budget? How are you paying for it? None of you know. And that's a problem. That is just too much money, plain and simple. We do not have it, and signing this contract, I believe, is illegal unless you figure out how you're going to pay the budget.
Would you like to come up?
No, I'm good.
That's what I thought.
Is there no line?
Anybody online?
Maybe vocalize it. I said it in chat, but
Sure. Is anybody on Zoom want to make public comment?
raise your hand.
Raise your hand, please. Okay. Not seeing any, so we're gonna go on to final reading ordinance number 3302, an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property at 35456 East Division Road. And this was a final reading.
I move we approve ordinance number 3302 as read.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 3302. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Ordinance number 3303, an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property west, south, and east of 58212 Old Portland Road.
I move we approve ordinance number 3303 as read.
Second.
Motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 3303. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson. Aye. Councilor Hubbard. Aye as well. 3304, or ordinance number 3304, an ordinance to annex and designate the zone of certain property at 2180 Gable Road.
I move we approve ordinance number 3304 as read.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve ordinance 3304. Council President Chilton.
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson. Aye. Councilor Hubbard. And I as well. Resolution number 2017, a resolution adopting the findings of broadband and digital infrastructure planning and authorizing city council support for the digital infrastructure initiative for St. Helens and adjacent municipalities to include preparation for BEAD funding, prep qualifications, required financial information.
Make a motion to adopt resolution number 2017
Second.
as read.
Okay, motion has been made and seconded to approve resolution 2017. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I as well. Award big contract, award contract to Hicks Striping and Curbing LLC for 2024 pavement striping project. R dash 719 in the amount of $51,122.
I'm, oh, God.
I make a motion to award the contract to Hicks Striping and Curbing LLC for the 2024 pavement striping project R17 in the amount of $51,122.
Thank you. Okay, been a motion made and seconded to award big contract for Hicks. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard. And I as well. Approve and authorize for signature, 6 agreement with Strategic Network Groups, Inc. for broadband planning. 7 Oregon State Marine Board boating facility grant agreement. 8 amendment number 1 to letter of intent with Arcadia project. 9 agreement with Treadway Events Entertainment LLC for special events coordinator and management services. And 10 diligence access agreement project Arcadia.
I move we approve and or authorize for signature items 6 through 10 is read.
I'll second that.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve and authorize for signature 6 through 10. Any discussion?
Question on the 9. Mr. Brady brought up some good questions on the budgeting and that could be, those are big numbers and I haven't seen anything that says make it happen. So I just, are we going into this blindfolded or is there a plan?
Well, typically it generates off ticket sales, is how we, pay for the extra, for contractors and stuff like that, but, he brings up a good point as far as.
Yeah,
actual budget.
we do anticipate talking with Lori about that issue of, there's gonna be a supplemental budget forthcoming. With that, we're gonna work on event budgets for each of the events throughout the year.
Yeah.
Answering back to the council.
I read once that we only have to pay them per event or do we have the whole cost for them?
We've annualized it.
So it's
The
for, as we move along in different events, then we don't pay them all up front. Okay. All right.
yeah, they get a 1/12 payment every month.
So when Gloria or whoever comes back with a supplemental budget, that's when we'll discuss how we're going to come up with the rest of the funds.
The amount.
Okay.
Thanks.
We have a meeting in the morning to kick off and start developing budgets and getting agendas.
And I mean, we do have, tourism assets that if need to be liquidated, they need to be liquidated. So there are things that we can do.
Yeah, I think we need to be proactive on that if there's some cash needs to be, but I mean, a big asset, maybe a buyer out there, so it's gonna be some time on that, trying to sell, whatever. But I don't think you've got a lot of assets that are sale. I think it ought to be looked at with the inventory anyway, the stuff that they figure they won't be using.
Yeah.
Or their game plan, it's like. Yeah. Something like that, okay.
Okay, any other discussion on any of these? Yeah, I have a motion that's been made and seconded to approve and authorize for signature 6 through 10. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Councilor Gunderson,
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard, and I'm an aye as well. Okay, consent agenda for acceptance. 11 Strategic Network Group broadband assessment and strategy report. Just the one.
I'll make a motion consent agenda for acceptance. Number 11, Strategic Networks Group Broadband Assessment and E-Strategy Report.
And been made and seconded to approve consent agenda 11. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Council Gunderson.
Aye.
Council Hubbard,
I,
and I'm an aye as well. Consent agenda for approval, utility billing leak adjustment for 2560 Columbia Boulevard, Craig Melton, in the amount of $1,084.22. 13, utility leak adjustment for 2304 Columbia Boulevard, Paul Nesba, in the amount of $1,935.20. 14 OLCC licenses and 15 accounts payable bill list.
I move we approve consent agenda items 12 through 15 as read.
I'll second.
Okay, motion's been made and seconded to approve consent agendas 12 through 15. Council President Chilton,
Aye.
Council Gunderson,
Aye.
Council Hubbard,
I,
and I'm an aye as well. Okay, so we have on here three different work session items. And the first one will be support of the jail levy and 79 cents per thousand. And we had Sheriff Pixley come up here and give us a presentation on why he felt it was important. And then equally important was our chief showed up and gave us some of his input on what it would do for our police staffing. And because if we didn't have this jail, we'd have to transport our prisoners to other jails, and we put roughly 2 people in there per day. And it does have 8 come in per day. And if it was just, even if it was functional and open, it would be a catch and release, probably maybe 6. 2 out of the 8 would, or 2 out of the 8 would be kept. And we'd have 6 released into our community. And not very happy being booked and released. That has happened once before in this community and it was not good. That's what I can tell you. So that's kind of I'm definitely in support of, and I always have been in support of this levy here because it houses the prisoners. Yeah, so I don't know how everybody else is feeling on that. I think we should, I don't know if we really need to do a resolution, maybe a letter of support stating some of the facts that we know that we heard earlier. Crystal, if it wouldn't be too much, maybe you could write us up a letter of support. That would work.
I was
If we're
still,
in favor of it.
I was still confused on the, you say catch and release, and then,
So they basically book them and then they'll go and they'll probably have a good chance of still getting prosecuted, but they're not gonna get any jail time. And then even when they do get prosecuted, if the judge finds that they're gonna be in their 60 days and they don't have enough staffing to cover all the pods in the jail.
No, what
my
Bruce is
question.
talking about is he's asking about the matrix process.
Yeah.
Cause he doesn't
That-
understand how that
that's what I'm
works. So
trying-
what would happen is someone would get arrested, they'd go
Trying to
in.
explain.
Oh, okay.
That's what I'm trying to explain. So if they don't have the staffing there to cover them all, they'll kick out the least offenders, which could be as much as they stole thousands of dollars from a store and they've been on probation for a while, and maybe even for domestic stuff is why they originally got on probation, but they're just kicked loose and back out in the community to rob more stores.
yeah, that's what I didn't hear. Say, we do this because we don't have the staffing of,
Yes.
and then I was a little confused, like, Multnomah County, they could only take so many. I mean, it seems like they could take more.
They couldn't take any to Multnomah. He said it was McMinnville and Astoria, our chief. Warrenton.
Clatsop County.
Yes, so, I mean, I think we had it on record and they could probably look back and just catch the high points on those and.
Do you want, did you see the work session action items that Kathy?
Yeah.
So are you wanting a resolution drafted for the next meeting?
I mean, would it give more?
Yes.
Maybe,
Yeah,
yeah,
typically it's done. through
okay,
resolution.
yeah, so we'd like a resolution to vote on next meeting, I think, would be good direction.
And I think Kathy's asking for a motion to be made to authorize her to bring one to the next meeting.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just want to make a quick comment, which is just that, I understand that there's a lot of feedback in the community and a lot of chatter about the jail functioning and, you know, questions about how its finances should work and shouldn't work. But the way I have always seen jails and police is that they are not business models. They're not meant to bring money or revenue. They're meant to uphold safety in the community. And that is something that I will vote in support of. But that's not to say that, you know, my neighbors aren't gonna be in agreement, and so that's really up to the voters, but I personally am in support of it,
Mhm.
so.
It's the same levy as last time that didn't pass.
Yes.
Yeah,
Same dollars and everything.
yeah, 79 cents, yeah.
What did he say when it's $5 more or something?
$5 a month.
$5 a month?
Based on an annual average house.
200,000 they call it.
Well, I don't know what you're,
That's what they're calling
all
it.
right, so it's
200,000.
$10 a month, $10 a month.
Yeah, I don't know what that figures out to be. So let's see, 79 at 300,000 would be 790 times. $79 times 3. Yes. Yeah, 79 times 0.79 times 3. Or points, or 79 times 3, because you're just doing the. It is roughly, yeah, just go up to 80 cents. 80 cents per thousand, and then you got 300 or, yeah. Okay, so, it'd be 300 times, yeah, it'd be 240 a year. Yep. So it's a little bit more than that, I think. $300,000 home. But it's still, yes, we could, we all agree with this, we'll take a resolution for next that we can vote on. That's all we're doing right now. Okay,
Make a motion
We
and
need to make a motion.
yep. Make a motion to direct staff.
I make a motion to direct staff to come back with a resolution in support of the jail levy for approval at the August 21 regular session.
Second that.
Okay, can you make that top motion and then we'll go into discussion, if you get shot down?
I just made the motion for the jail levy.
Oh. Council President Chilton.
Aye. I was like, hold on a second.
say pledge allegiance again.
Seconded.
Mark did.
I did.
Council Gunderson.
Aye.
Councilor Hubbard.
Aye.
And I'm an aye as well. Okay.
Okay, so this one is in regards to the compensation to carvers or organizer for canceled Sandcastle event. So we're gonna make a motion, I'm gonna make a motion to compensate the carvers of the canceled Sandcastle competition with a check for blank
Yep.
each and a check for blank to the organizer. Can we make a second so we can talk about it?
Yeah.
Real
I'll
quick.
second.
Okay, so, when she talked to John about this, basically they had got, these guys had canceled some plans and already got their airfare tickets out here. And was asking for at least compensation for their airfare that they couldn't get refunded, they did. And I don't know what the dollar amounts are, and that's why I probably left blank. If you get any feedback from Brittany, you gave testimony earlier.
Yeah, the cars were compensated $1,000 to participate in the event and. You know, in talking about them, you know, what would be a reasonable amount, they said half would do it for them.
She is. You wanted to talk.
Well,
Well, I think we just wanna,
Just letting you know.
So who was the contract with?
it was with, Brittany Black, I do believe.
Well, who signed the contract?
Who's the contract with? With her and whom? Who's contract?
That would be,
I haven't seen the contract, but it would have been through E2C that arranged it.
His contract, okay.
And it may be that, you know, on the return of the WANA funds that could be taken out of there.
Well, we didn't go back on that contract. She did.
yeah. Yeah, and I think that's a good point you bring up, John. Now the one credit union, once that's all settled, the account there, that those funds can come out of that.
I personally have a real, you know, been feeling very emotional for, Brittany's, statements and her coming forward and her integrity being on the line. And I really do feel absolutely, disheartened for the situation that she's going through with all of this. But speaking on behalf of my position as a city councilor and my job, which is to protect the city, I don't think it's in our best interest to pay for something that we didn't sign a contract for, we didn't agree to do, and we don't, quite frankly, have the funds to pay for right now. We're talking about struggling to maintain the biggest tourism event we have, which is Halloween Town financially at this point. And I just don't think from a business standpoint and a conservative mindset, it makes any sense for us to be paying for something that didn't even happen when we are not sure how we're gonna fund Halloween Town. That's just my stance on it. So at this time, I don't think it's a good idea for us to do this.
Agreement with you. We could down the road offer them maybe some kind of entrance fee
Waived or something like that.
next year or something, once we get our feet on the ground with the new contractor. But I think to pay them any money now, and it's not our contract, we didn't, it's not ours. I feel bad, yes. But we can't be paying money for someone that acted. It's hard for them, I know that, but like you said, we gotta look after the public's money, so.
Yeah, I just, I don't know how to feel about it. I know that, it doesn't look good for the city either way.
Yeah,
You're never gonna get these carvers to come back.
about that, but that's why
Well,
I'm saying maybe
I
next
know,
year we can offer them something.
I know if they hit me in the book for $500 or $1,000, I wouldn't come back,
Well, and I think the
500 or
sandcastle
1,000.
is a great
I don't even know what the amount is.
contribution to the city, but
Yeah.
it's not our main breadwinner either. It's something that we were just beginning, and I think our main focus has to be Halloween Town. Period. We have to fund Halloween Town and make sure Halloween Town is successful, because that's what creates the revenue for all of the other things. So
Well,
that
I don't
is
disagree with
priority
that.
number one.
And I don't disagree with that at all. Like I said, I don't disagree. I just think it doesn't look good for.
It's truly not our fault, though. It's
Well,
really not.
As a city council, and I think the Wanna Credit Union, we know does have funds in it. It's just locked up right now.
We don't know that for sure.
Oh, we do.
Zero.
We do.
I haven't seen anything that says that.
It's in the contractual agreement.
That doesn't mean the money's there, though.
My take on it is if we want to continue this, a partnership, then we should do it. This is a good faith effort to get folks to come back.
They're just asking for half their. How many was there? I mean, there's usually about, I don't know, I'm guessing probably about a dozen of them. Seems like there's like 3 teams of 4 or something like that. And not everybody flies in. And I mean, I would like to see where their cancellation fees are and what, what are they actually out? And they submit that stuff, I mean. That would be we have to give a receipt to get reimbursed for our expenses. That's what we haven't seen. And if the council wasn't opposed to it and they gave us receipts that were for flights to Portland or Seattle, at least close.
Yeah, I think Brittany's point, and she can make her own point if she wanted to, is that it's just an opportunity cost to what the Carvers, would have done in that absence. And if the council hadn't canceled the event, it probably, or not extended the contract, it probably would have happened.
We legally had to renew the contract and get an RFP. So like I said before, the city is not responsible for this, in my opinion.
Yeah, technically, no, I would agree with you.
No, and
It's a
that- I
tragedy and
agree
it's
too.
unfair to Brittany's character. And that is very unfortunate for her. And I would completely understand if she didn't feel comfortable doing this event again, because if I were in her shoes, I would feel the same. But at the same time, my job up here is to protect the citizens of St. Helens and the city of St. Helens. And that's just what I feel like we have to do. Right in this moment, we don't have the money. And we are trying to make sure that Halloween Town works for this year. And that's my main concern.
They could band together and go for breach of contract and go their money back from her. It's the one that signed it.
Yeah.
And we would love to have them back here. And I understand again, if that is damaged because of that, I think that's
Mhm.
something we have to deal with later, unfortunately. We're
I-
just trying to make do.
I actually agree with you guys. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just trying to, trying to make it right.
Yeah.
Some really artistic people who had plans to come out here and, that's all.
Well, I think if we wasn't our idea to have it happen this way.
Yeah.
Contract that they signed was with the past person. If we can give them one carrot or some entrance fee or something down for next year or the following year, that's the carrot they could go with. Dollar amount, I don't know what that would be, but then you're in the process of making it happen. And
Sure.
that would be the way I can see giving them something, but cash is like admitting that we're making up for our losses. but
Yeah.
Someone else caused us.
Yeah. No, like I said, I agree with you guys. I mean,
One of the other things we talked about, rather than a restitution, was a deposit or advance for next year for them to come.
and that's kind of what I heard Russ talking about.
Yeah, but let's not do it right away. Let's
Make sure where it's gonna happen, yes, and that the event coordinators,
let's get stuff more
Insurance.
organized.
That's not even in the contract,
insurance on a boat. And
In the other category, yeah.
but it's not
Not
a
the main
contracted
contract.
event, right? So that's something that Treadway needs to even make sure they feel comfortable doing.
Right.
Blah, blah. There's lots of details to find out.
There is, yes, yep. I know that she has expressed that she would, if that didn't work out, she has expressed with Treadway that if it was doable, that she wouldn't mind if it's something that we're interested in, her subcontracting with us too. We absolutely can do that. I don't think in this agreement, we're exclusive,
Which,
this one. I don't think we're exclusive, are we? No.
Well, let's see if we survive Halloween
Yes,
County
yes,
construction
I hear
first,
you,
and
but-
then we'll get to the other side of that tunnel and find out.
Well, that's been the whole thing this whole time is we've never been exclusive as far as events. If somebody had an idea and wanted to try to do an event in our city, they're more than welcome to. By going through the process, approaching the council. With the idea, get support, going to public works. Police, fire, by them. Cause usually there's a lot of people involved in events. And then they make it happen, so. All right, yep, so, motion's been made and seconded to, compensate, unknown dollar amounts to the Sandcastle event. Council President Chilton,
No,
Councilor Gunderson.
No.
Okay, Councilor Hubbard. And I'm a no as well. I think we all agree. We know the principle, it really sucks. We feel for the whole situation. Not really. We didn't sign the contract, so. Okay. But we'll hopefully be able to have a resolution of All right, let's go ahead on to council reports.
Okay.
Yep.
I just have one thing to share. I apologize for going on my phone, but this is second party sharing here. This is for Shauna with the rec center. So some updates about how summer programs are going with the St. Helens Rec program. So she said, I want to share that we will have 23 summer camps by the time summer ends, balancing free programs with paid, and they have come with many community partnerships. We've had 450 camp spots filled. Camps we offered this summer were art camps, sport camps, volleyball, tennis, basketball, coding, dance, create camp, cooking camps, camp rec, which was life skills, literacy, continuation, social, emotional learning. Theme camps, one that will be hosted with the St. Helens Police, which is our mystery camp. She says, think of it like a big game of Clue. Sounds a lot of fun. So that's what I just wanted to share about the rec program, continuing to do a lot of fun stuff this summer, and we appreciate you.
All
So
right. I think the professor did it. Definitely the professor.
looks like you might need to show up. Maybe you're gonna be one of the Clue people.
Counselor Gunderson.
You know, this last month, planning commission was canceled. I've got a Columbia River Fire and Rescue meeting tomorrow, board meeting. I don't really have anything.
All right. Counselor Hubbard?
The library, as you heard today from Suzanne, is going great. What a team they've got put together.
Yeah, all right. Again, with you, most of us attended the night out last night. It was really good. Want to thank again to our length of recognition, Don Richardson for 5 years, Lori Shelby for 15 years, and Tim Underwood for 25 years. It's a big accomplishment to hit those milestones at any workplace, and we appreciate all your effort. Waterfront is coming back together. I constantly say if it was easy, it had already been done. And that being said, I just asked the citizens to please come down and support the businesses downtown here. That we know that parking is gonna be a little tough, but please navigate around and get parked where you can and walk a little ways and support our businesses. They really, really need your help. 13 Nights got moved to McCormick Park and it's affected them. And, come down, have a beer or a glass of wine and eat some food or have a Coke and, just show your support the best you can. And I think part of it, is that, everybody's feeling it in the pocketbook right now and, unfortunate too. But the civil side of things are gonna be wrapped up by the end of the year. Civil meaning the road, and then the park gets due for May next year. Before, 13 Nights will be back on the river. It's always gonna be on the river. I know people love having it in McCormick Park. They love the venue. They can spread out and move around. And John, thank you for taking that on. And I also want to compliment John that he's going to continue it out while he just wants Treadway to focus on everything Halloween right now. He's finishing out the 5 and get them focused on Halloween. Let's get going on it because that's a big economic boost to our community. So, and I would agree with what was said just a minute ago from all of us that we need to really focus on that. So, Fall Chinook is started August 1st. So they're gonna start running real good in about another 3 weeks. Get out there and if you can, get out there and throw a line in the water. You got a good chance of getting a Chinook. So I always like to throw those in there and that's all I have. With that, we are